Alright. Sorry about that. God dang it. New phone. It's kind of tricky for me. Marathon Navigator. So this watch design by Marathon. Obviously, I've done that one on the Benrus style watch, same case shape style from the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. I can't really remember now, but I know that was out then. And then it looks like Marathon came out with the same, brought this back in the 1986. It was probably stainless steel then. It'd be cool if they still made them. They don't. Even though they're a Canadian company, but at least they're Swiss made. Something tells me that Canadians aren't capable of making watches anymore. I could be wrong. You can correct me in the comments. Actually, I had to redo this video because I said some rude things about Canadians because it's a Canadian company that made this watch, but I don't really feel that way. That's funny too because this one says U.S. government on it because a year ago, even though I bought this after the election, I still was a fan of the U.S. government. Now I'm not so sure. Even though I'm employed by the U.S. government. No, I like the U.S. government. We shouldn't lose faith. Let's not lose faith. Okay, enough of that. On the same note, though, I do have this badass Tops Mill Spy 3.5. Pretty stiff. Kind of new. But I've been carrying it now for a couple weeks. I'm out in western Colorado. Freezing the backside off at night. And it's very nice during the day. Really brief, though. As soon as that sun goes down, it gets cold. So I got a little bit more time. Anyway, I hope that focuses for you. Pretty cool watch. Generally lines up with the minute markers for the most part. All right, so anyway, 90s. So this has been around. This design's been around since the 90s. It does have that acrylic crystal domed, which is what I bought. It's cool. I spent a lot of time in helicopters and small fixed wing, and it definitely, the scratching definitely reminds me of that. They're always scratched up. I don't know if that's going to turn out. I wore this for half the fire season. It got rotated through with that MWC P656 I did a review on. These kind of like shared time together along with a Garmin watch I have. I'll do a review on that too. Great watch. So I kind of gotten watches in this last calendar year or less than a calendar year probably. Last winter I think it started. Anyway, so acrylic crystal, in my opinion, plexiglass. Fiber shell construction for the case and the bezel. And as you can see, the bezel supposedly has got clicks. It kind of has clicks. It's mostly friction though, which is fine. But it is the kind of like that Benrus style watch I did a review on. If you have seen that, if not, if you like, take a look. It's kind of a similar watch, similar style, but stainless steel. But anyway, it's got the multiple time zone bezel on it, which you can use it. I honestly have not used this at all for tracking a second time zone. Maybe at some point I will. I don't know, but I just use it for elapsed time, count down and then count up, kind of like a stopwatch or a countdown timer. It's great for that because I do love analog watches, but I always like having a stopwatch too. So let's see here. What do we got? 47.6 millimeters end to end, 43 side to side. That includes the bezel, which as you can see is a little bit proud of the case. It sticks out a little bit. So I just measured widest part to widest part, and I got 43.8. 12.5 millimeters thick. And I use this for that. It's great for mountain bike. Your suspension, your mountain bike, measuring sag and anything else, measuring nuts and bolts that you might need as well. Yeah, it's got the ETA F06 3 joule movement, high torque. It's like high torque. They should just name it after tornadoes. Like tornadoes are named after force, right? Or rated by force, like F4, F5, F6, I think. I don't know. Anyway, F06. So something like this is supposed to withstand 35,000 feet of elevation, which is basically you're up in the jet stream. Commercial jets fly at 35,000 feet, roughly, give or take 5. Mount Everest is 29,000 plus, just under 30,000 feet. Not that I've been there. It'd be nice, though. It'd be cool. And then also the water resistance. I'll have to get to that. I forgot to look that up, or I did see it, but I didn't write it down. Anyway, not high. It does have a push-pull crown and a snap-back case. But I did do a lot of swimming, actually, in Lake Tahoe this summer. And this was fine. And I dove down probably 6-10 feet. Nothing. Don't get me wrong. I ain't bragging by any means. I was just out there swimming around. And no problem with that at all. But it's just not like, theoretically, these guys are, 660 feet, I think. 200 meter. Yeah, 200 meters, which I think is 660 feet. The old boy. This was in my truck, so I figured I'd bust it out. Don't ask me why, it just was. Okay, so those are the dimensions. Super accurate watch, though. Oh, and as you can see, I don't know if I want to bore everybody with like dimensions. They're very similar. This one basically is dang near perfectly symmetrical end to end, side to side. 45.3, I think, long. 45.2 wide from the widest point, including the crown, and then about 12 millimeters thick. So very close. Very close. This one has the Ronda 515 movement, I believe. As you can see, I did set them. I attempted to set them the same. Probably maybe a little bit of variation because it's cold at night where I'm at. High teens, low 20s. And that does affect quartz movements, as I have discovered. It will slow them down substantially. So these actually have been reset within the last couple of days. And then I actually, where I sleep, I actually have them in there to keep them somewhat warm, just to be a little OCD on that. Check in there. Anyway, so I don't really see a whole lot of difference between the ETA and the Ronda. Both good. Of course, I had really good experience with this. This one had a hard life. It's very important to make sure you get the gaskets in there and that they're new enough that they work. This one was flooded several times. I'm pretty sure at some point I'll throw another battery in there. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a problem with the movement, though. Even though you can see, and it has been in a video too. That's kind of nasty, but like that had broken off, and then those lug holes, spring bar holes had been stripped out anyway. Like this one, you could pop this one out pretty easy, probably. So yeah, great watch though, and I really like the hands, syringe hands. And I think this one actually is visible. It's just not turned on the camera very well. So I'll have to bust this one in there. You can see those hand style syringe. However, I do like marathons even more. They're a little bit longer. They kind of overlap those minute markers. And I do like that. And the syringe part, the needle part of those syringe hands is a little longer. Those aren't bad either, actually. I think they're thinner. More of a needle tip. I do like the Marathon better, even though they're Canadian. Just kidding. All right, stand by one. I'll pop that strap off. We can look at the case back. Okay, we're back. One thing I don't want to fail to mention too, pretty lightweight. Let's see here. Okay. All right, pretty similar. This one actually, the Marathon actually might be a little heavier. Okay, the big deal. Okay, for me, to be honest, I think the water resistance for me is fine. I haven't had an issue with it yet. And I'm sorry this is not focusing yet. Come on. Throw me a bone here. Anyway, fixed lug bars. Okay, no, they're not spring bars. They are fixed in there, which is good, because then they can't strip out like these. I don't foresee this Luminox getting the wear and tear. Actually, in my watches, because I kind of rotate them now. I don't ever know if they'll ever like decay and break down, degrade like this one did, because this one got the shit kicked out of it, honestly. Come on, focus, bro. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead, if we can, attempt to look at that case back. I'll just read it. It says, watch, wrist, good military speak. I'm sorry. Okay, it is. I'll just say it is a snap-on case back. Yeah. Navigator date, type 3, class 1. 28 millicuries. I don't know what that means. 26 millicuries. Marathonwatch.com. It's got the serial number. It's got a military number. It's good stuff. Yeah, sorry about that. That was probably really annoying. I'm on a mountain bike trip, and I'm actually currently in a campground, so I don't know if you're picking up that sound over yonder way. Anyway, yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty much what I got. It's a really sweet watch. I do recommend it. $200 if you can find these with that acrylic crystal. The new ones have sapphire, and they're $100 more. And I don't know if there's any other differences in between the two, but I do like that dome crystal myself. At least I did when I bought it. Now I'm like, well, now I have one. And it was cheaper, so I'm glad I bought it. Anyway, if you got any questions on this bad boy, leave it in the comment section. Otherwise, have a good one.